Dr. Jazz.
Also, like,
yeah, it has been a little bit crazy. Been on tour, but also instead of going home for a couple of days, I just stayed out. Sometimes it's worse, just fly home and try to get all your gear down to the studio, and then next day out again. So
yeah, but did you actually play gigs? I mean, and everything?
Yeah, we played a lot of gigs with. We were out playing a lot of gigs with Rymden, this new trio with Boogie.
Yeah, I want to ask you about it.
Yeah. I also combined it to travel to play some gigs with the Libretto with Lars Daniel.
Oh, really? Oh, wow, man, beautiful. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so I've been in his band for many years, and so it's has been fantastic actually. I can't. I'm very grateful. to be back out there, with all this COVID thing, and that's been crazy. Just one gig canceled actually in Netherlands. They just changed the rules overnight, so we.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Everything closes at 5 at the Netherlands now. Yeah. But okay, you were lucky, you got it. I mean, many friends of mine, had to cancel like half of their tours when they did stuff and just.
No, right. No, last year was totally canceled. So.
Yeah, bizarre times, man. Bizarre times. Really.
It's strange.
But it'll be good one day.
Yeah, hopefully it will be fine. Yeah. And how is it? You're Slovenia?
I'm in Slovenia, yeah.
Slovenia, yeah. Where in Slovenia?
In Maribor.
In Maribor. Okay.
You played here man, you played here like 2001 maybe?
Yeah, something like that.
I saw that gig and it was incrediable. It was an outside gig. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah. Beautiful festival. It was fantastic. I remember. It
was the first time. Yeah, and then I saw you in Ljubljana, in the studio with Esbjörn.
Oh yeah, in the TV
with Brane. Yeah,
Brane. Yeah. Actually, I met him just a month ago, or a couple of weeks ago, somewhere. I don't remember where.
Really?
Actually, maybe Budapest. I'm not sure now. But
really? Oh wow.
I haven't seen him in years, and that's fantastic. Yeah. But he's still doing radio, I think. Or
he's just doing radio. That TV show, where you played also with your band.
Yeah.
That's been canceled years ago, and this was, this was one of the best TV shows ever. Everyone played on that one, and the sound quality and the video, it was
fantastic.
And it stopped, so it's such a shame.
They always stop the good things, don't they?
Yeah.
Somehow.
Yeah. I mean, this was our education, for music. We just went there. Right. It was for free. No payment, no nothing. You just went there, listened to music to 2 hours and interviews, and drove back. It's like, man,
amazing.
Yeah, incredible. But Magnus, I wanted to start. You mentioned Rymden, and I listened a lot to this group now lately. Just to get in the mood for our talk.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I mean, I listen to your music. I love your solo records as well. You as a leader. I want to ask you later about that and your
thank you.
But about the Rymden, it seems it's a band that where you seem to have a lot of fun and seem to have drawing this line between improvised and composed. And I just wanted to ask you, and I know all three of you write music for the band, and it's a lot of improvisation, but how was the group formed, and what was the concept? Who was the initiator first? And
it was actually Bugge.
Okay.
Yeah, it was actually Bugge, because during the years with EST, we toured a lot parallel with his new conceptions of jazz. So we knew each other a little bit, and but then later on, Dan joined Bugge for a trio with a laptop artist from Berlin. Now the name is gone, of course. Stupid. I don't remember now, but they made a trio album called Trialogue, I think. And then Bugge heard my band in a festival in Sweden once, and he liked that. So, and then he asked Dan and thought, maybe we should ask Magnus to check if he was interested. And At first, it was a special thing because it was the first time to play trio again after EST. So I won't say that I hesitated, but a little bit gave it a thought. And then, of course, I wanted to do because I love the format. And Boogie is a great person, fantastic person and player and everything. So we gave it a go and we had a lot of fun. I remember our first gig in Bergen, I think, in Norway. Maybe it was 2017 already. And it was really fun from the beginning. So we thought, yeah, let's try this out. And it has been fantastic travel so far.
Yeah, it sounds like, you know, I watched the other day also on YouTube on Jazz Aldia, where he played last year on that festival. Oh. There's like a huge concert. The whole concert is recorded, you know. And
which one was that?
Jazz Aldia, you know, the Spain. I think it's San Sebastian.
San Sebastian. Yeah. The only gig that summer. Yeah. I should remember. Wow, I don't remember. You didn't remember the name, but yeah, that was super great. Also, yeah.
So beautiful to see you guys, you know, live playing and how you communicate and
thank
beautiful.
You. Thank you.
And also you and Dan are like incredible. I mean, the connection you two guys have, it's just, you know, I think you would be a rhythm section that you bring. It's like, it reminds me of, you know, like the old ECM connections of Jon Christensen and Ariel Thunderson.
Okay.
Those guys, you know, it's just like, oh man, that's those guys, you know.
That's fantastic. That thank you very much. No, but we played for a long time, and you know, what can you say? We just play, and it feels just easy and good. So
yeah.
I
wanted to ask you also about this trio. I mean, or especially about your playing in this trio, or even before with EST or your own group. How do you think in terms of sound when you play? Because your variety of playing is, you know, it's very wide in a sense. You can go into kind of rock beat, you can play nothing almost, but you can make all these colors. Like, so how do you conceptualize your playing on every tune usually?
Oh, what do you say? Everything for me is very much about feeling and listening, about the ears, what you hear. And usually for me, I remember, especially when we played with EST, I can just make an example from our rehearsals. You know, Esbjörn came with his songs and he played it through maybe once, and then Dan joined and played them. But I waited quite often for maybe they played it through 3 times, and I'm just felt the song, try to where will this song take? Does this song want to take me somewhere? Instead of just starting to play, you know, the usual thing, or you know, for instance. You can take from Gagarin's point of view.
Okay, yeah.
It's in a way, it's a jazz ballad.
Yeah.
But you could have started to play brushes, just, you know, it would have been a nice ballad, but it wasn't. I wanted to find something else, but so that's why I was sitting around and waiting for something, and then suddenly it just comes somehow. I don't know how to explain. Of course, it's an initiative from myself, but sometimes it can be better to wait a little bit so you don't just go for the same thing all over again. Of course, I play a lot of the same things in different bands, but still, I'm trying to find myself probably.
But that's your sound, you know. You because you play how you play. It's not that I don't think any of us or of you play the same, you know. It's just like that's you.
You try to find yourself, and it's what I do, you know. I'm just trying to find a way into the songs, and I was about to say something clever, but now I don't remember.
No, let's say from Gagarin's point of view, right? I always find that fascinating, this egoless playing in a way of you in that song, that it's so minimal. And how do you restrain yourself of not play over much? I mean, you know, we musicians, at least, okay, I'll speak about guitarists, you know. I needed a long time. Now I don't anymore, but just to be like, okay, this song, if it requires a G chord, it's a G chord.
Yeah, right.
I don't have to show everything.
No,
but,
no, right.
you know, I needed a long time, but like, how do you that? Did you do that, or still do actually? This like, okay.
I don't know. Sorry. I might never have been. I shouldn't say that, but I've never have been about show off or ego. You, of course, you want to express yourself, but somehow I been, what to say, fortunate or lucky to find to see the music first. That you always try to support the music or the composer. What does he want for this song, or what does this music need? Of course, it's a subjective thing, totally. But from my point of view, so I've always come from that angle, I think, even from quite early, I think. And also sometimes I usually talk about myself more like a colorist or a painter than a drummer, actually. I always like different colors. I don't know if it has to do with, because my father was a painter, you know, painting houses.
Really? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, like that. Okay. Wow.
You know the old story. I built my first drum kit with his empty.
I don't know that, really.
You didn't know that? No. Anyway,
no.
So that's how it started. You know, he had a lot of empty paint cans in the basement, and I built my first drum set out of that.
Oh, wow.
And my mother was working in the shop selling paint. So. So I remember this is something totally different, but because my mother was selling one brand and my father using another brand, and I remember the discussing over, you know, breakfast which was the best. Anyway, but somehow
like the morning discussions. No,
no, right. But somehow color has been sometimes more important than the playing in a way. So, and I felt for this instance, this song, Gagarin, I just felt something weightless in it from the beginning. So it might sound like an after construction, but it felt like a spacey thing, this melody.
Mm-hmm.
So somehow I don't know where it came from, but it was like, no, this is it. It shouldn't be more than this, and I don't have to play more.
Yeah.
Because it's a beautiful song.
Oh, yeah. The melody speaks for itself.
So it doesn't, I don't have to do more to it. So, and sometimes it might be that this needs something more busy. So for instance, for some behind the jazz mac, it was more like a drum and bass groove, and I know I played those grooves quite a lot in different songs, but somehow that came along.
It fits
in that song. And just a short story about Gagarin, I just want to tell you, because it became kind of a signature song for EST.
Oh, sure, definitely, yeah.
And we have rehearsed quite a lot of songs, and then Esbjörn said, "Oh, I have another song, but I think it may be maybe it's not for us, and a little bit simple or something." "Oh, but let's show us." "No, but no, I don't think. No, we don't." "But
really,
we have to hear it. You have composed it." "Okay." And that was Gagarin's point of view. It could have been that we never played it, you know. So it's very, you know, things happens.
Man, wow, yeah. I mean, that song for me, I mean, composition, that completely changed my, you know, that's when I fell in love with the trio. It's just
wow.
Because there was this, Brana had this TV show, and there was actually a video for that song that was made, right?
Yes.
And I remember that video, and I was just, man, you know, how do you guys do that? And it's so simple. It's nothing. It's just a melody, you know.
Yeah, you're right.
Simple harmony, but just this whole vibe that you guys created, what we talked about, you know, and the ball that comes up.
Yeah.
No, I was like, man, that's it, you know.
Yeah, but sometimes, you know, everything fits together. You know, Esbjörn wrote beautiful songs, fantastic composer, but also the combination with all of us that brought in our inputs and made the sum of the three bigger than us in a way. But I can see it afterwards, you know. When you're in it, you don't know, you just play. But and also, of course, you hear what people say from outside, you know. So anyway, that's
But with that trio, like, do you remember the first time you guys played together? How was that like for you? Was it already like magical? Like, because you and Dan, did you play together before, or like?
No, it was like, actually it is. We started out the trio in a way already in 1991. It's already not much talked about, but it was another bass player called Hans Backenroth, a fantastic bass player. But then after, I think it was 92 or 93, Esbjörn played with Dan in another band, and we wanted to find another type of, and nothing against Hans, but he was great, but something else.
Sure, I know what you mean.
Yeah. And Esbjörn was playing in another band with Dan, and he asked me, maybe we should try Dan and see what happens. So we actually set up an audition gig in a small bar in the old town in Stockholm. Yeah, but he didn't know that. So because Esbjörn just asked him, "Oh, I have a gig here. Do you want to? Can you come and play?" And then he just said, "Oh, by the way, Magnus will be there as well." And he knew about the trio already, of course. So he thought, he didn't. "Oh, what is this?" You know. So, and then actually I felt from the beginning when he started to play that it was he has such an energy in his playing that I don't know, it felt just super great from the beginning. Also, then of course we developed it, but now he has a certain what do you say, so much energy in his playing, and I don't know, it's very difficult to explain, but somehow it just fit super together with what we were doing. So, and from then on, yeah, he was there.
How do you see, like, you know, you played as a trio for a really long time, and that the group developed, like, how did the sound develop? Did you guys talk about it, where you want to go? It's just like naturally happened, these things, like musical directions kind of?
We didn't talk that much about it. In the beginning, it was more like, you know, when you come with a song, you have a certain idea. And of course, it was Esbjörn's song. So he came and had ideas how it should be. I don't know how you think, but when I started my own band, then I realized how hard it can be to get away from your own picture of the song, to really invite the musicians to give their own thing. And that's how it was in the beginning, actually. Esbjörn had a clear idea, and then we tried to fit into that picture. And but I think it was from you have it already on the first album when everyone has gone in a way, but I think from the record, from Gagarin's point of view, I think Esbjörn kind of relaxed and started to rely, and, you know, felt more safe what we were bringing in, and then it happened in a way. Then the sound really, we had the sound quite early, but it feels like that was kind of the starting point of the real development, I think. And I realized, and I thought, you know, back then I thought, it can't be that hard to leave your picture of your, but when I composed myself and have my own band, I said, shit, this is not easy, you know. You know, you have your picture, and then one plays something else, and you thought, no, that is not really what I want, but maybe it's better, but you don't see it, you know. It's very difficult.
Yeah, I mean, for drummers, when I have, you know, I was fortunate, I am to play with really great drummers, you know.
Yeah.
And never I told the drummer, let's say, what to do. I just like,
no. Yeah.
You know, if I give you a tune, I would not tell you what to do, because, you know,
right.
You bring so much to the music, or a good musician. So it's like, you know, it would make no sense. Yeah, can you, like, I don't know, syncopate? Like, no, please. The less, the better, you know.
Right. No. But anyway, you know. But it's also maybe special from, if you're a guitar player or piano player, you have written the song on your instrument. It's more difficult for maybe bass player and piano player, drummer to try to transfer your idea out. How should this melody be played? Or it's not easy to, you know, because
it's not easy,
I think it's more difficult in that direction, I think. Because you already, you know, have it.
Yeah.
You understand what I mean?
Yeah. But if you look back at it, might sound strange a question, but like if you look back at the trio, EST, you know, I think you guys, I mean, everyone sees that in a way. You changed kind of the piano trio sound. I mean, there were, of course, piano trios, amazing trios, but like this sound that you guys created after you so many piano trios on ECM or an Actor or whatever label came out sounding, searching what you had, you know, which is basically this minimalism, this openness. How do you look at this now? If you know, after a long time, or were you aware of that now that you were doing something fresh or different, or?
So we just did what we did. So you don't think about it when you're in it.
Yeah.
You just have a vision or a feeling of what you want to do, or we just did it in a way. And it was a mix, what do you say, fortunate mix of all our influences, and that came together in this. And how do you explain it? How did it happen? It's so many parameters, you know, the compositions. Esbjörn wrote fantastic compositions that was very easy accessible, but still had a lot of complexity if you started to dive into it. And it was what it was. But of course, then it wasn't, we couldn't really see it. But now afterwards, especially maybe 10 years after, you can see, and also what people have told you, as you say, and then you also sometimes hear things, and you think, what is this? Is that? No, it's not us. What is that? It's something. Oh, it's that trio or that trio, and of course you hear it, and it's fantastic. You can't ask for more that you have been a part of the music history in a way to
definitely
to inspire people to find new ways. Then of course it's you know, you have to find your own way. But we were also inspired of a lot of people. You're always standing on the shoulders of the giants before you in a way.
Sure.
So,
yep.
But I can see that a lot of bands afterwards, try to find that thing, and that's fantastic. That's how it should be. You know, we were listening a lot to a lot of things, of course. But if you're talking about trios, Esbjörn was totally, let's say, obsessed about Now He Sings, Now He Sobs, the Chicoria trio, you know, with Roy Haynes. That record, we listened a lot to that, and Esbjörn listened a lot to Keith Jarrett, of course, but also made a lot to the American quartet, you know, with Charlie Hayden and Julia. You know, we have people before us that we listen to and get inspired by. But then you hopefully find your own interpretation or your own way, and that is not easy.
Oh man, that's the heaviest.
For us, in a way, it just happened. We were lucky to be in that setting, and the combination made it somehow. So but what to say? It's
no, sure.
Answer, but it's
No, it's just when I think about it now, you know, it actually. I mean, also Boogie, you know, with new conceptions of jazz, and Niels Petter Molver, you know, the Khmer, I think, and all those albums. You guys, basically the entire Scandinavian scene, of course, Garbarek before already, like, created this. But you, especially in the piano trio format, I think you made like this huge. It
looks like it, and that's fantastic, and also for Esbjörn's legacy, you know, that he brought to the music history in a way. It's fantastic, actually.
Exactly.
And it's like we, as we were talking about, we had actually fulfilled our childhood dream in so many ways. So even though Esbjörn passed when he did, we had already kind of went the whole way. So it's an amazing journey that we actually did it. So it's fantastic.
You mentioned Magnus Roy Haynes before.
Yeah.
And you know, maybe not such an obvious influence, but like who were, I guess you of course listened to all these guys, but who were like the first these guys, let's say in mid-late 70s, that blew your mind, and who did you then check out? I mean, I guess ECM was an important influence, probably all these Scandinavian drummers, or not really. I mean, can you tell me a little bit about that?
My first really drum hero that I listened, that I got kind of shocked when I heard, it was Billy Cobham.
Really? Oh,
yes.
Wow. I'm a Vishnu kind of, or
yeah. This was after, and my brother, who's 3 years older, he took me to a concert when I was 14. I saw, it was Joe McLaughlin, but it was a special setup with Jack Bruce on bass and Stu Goldberg. Wow. It was a special quartet, and Billy Cobham.
Wow.
And I was totally blown away. I was totally shocked how you could play drums like that. So I think I have 13 Billy Cobham vinyls. You know, I just went in totally into this jazz rock thing, you know.
Fusion, yeah, kind of.
So this fusion, but of course for me it was jazz rock. Fusion was slicker somehow for me.
Yeah, really, I know what you mean.
No, it's not super important. But no, Billy Cobham was the first big hero. But I must say, my brother, he listened a lot to Hendrix and Deep Purple and all that stuff. So I think also both Ian Pace and Mitch Mitchell and also Buddy Miles, I think they were quite important, more important than I thought, because I got this music from his room all the time and I listened to it. I remember he came home with this Black Knight single, you know, Deep Purple with that drumming. It was amazing.
Yeah.
It was like, amazing. So it was, so that was a super big thing, as I think. And then it is actually Roy Haynes that came around after that for me. Yes, because of this Now He Sings, Now He Sobs, and a lot of other things. Because I just reckon his touch somehow, how his touch, how he plays, it's amazing. It's so beautiful, and he really, I don't know what to say. He's so light, but with so much energy. And the combination with Billy Cobham, maybe that host have so much power on the other hand, but super swinging, you know. If you hear Billy Cobham playing a 2/4 beat, it's one of the most, wow, it's fantastic how he plays.
You know those records with Horace Silver, the early stuff?
I haven't. I feel ashamed. I haven't checked them out.
You really have to hear that. Yeah. You would not say it's Billy Cobham.
No, I mean, right,
you hear his sound, but it's like, you know, he's swinging amazing.
Right. I have to check that out more actually. But somehow these guys got quite deep into me, and I don't know, the mix came out like it did with me. But there's so many.
Sure.
You know, all the guys, you know, Tony Williams, Paul Motion, of course, Jon Christensen. But I must say, I'm not that guy that is a nerd that start to listen, you know, 24/7 on a thing and try to learn that or that. I've never really been like that. I've listened, of course, and everything I hear gets into my head, of course, but for me it has been a lot about, and also talking about practicing, and that I've practiced, of course, but for me I have survived playing, you can say, with people, because that's what I love to play. I shouldn't say that I hate to practice, but it hasn't been my thing really. Because some people love to practice, you know, they can sit 8 hours and it's fantastic. And I would have loved to be that person, because I would have been a little bit better on my instrument. But now it came out like that, and I play what I play, and I kind of accepted that I'm best at being me. You know, I'm not the best drummer in the world, but I am best at being me. And
that you are who you are, sure.
If people like it, I'm super happy. If not, it is what it is. But for me, it's about the music and about playing, not about practicing.
No, makes sense. Sure.
Yeah.
But being you about you, like, how did you then? I mean, I have all 3 albums of you, and I love the compositions. I want to ask you about the tunes.
The solo albums.
Yeah,
okay,
you as a band leader, and how did you decide to do that? Like Thread of Life, how did that happen? When was the moment you said, okay, I want to have my own band? Or
we actually, right before, just a month or something, no, just before Esbjörn passed away, we had decided on maybe we should try to do solo albums, because Esbjörn wanted to do solo albums. So then why not? We all can do it. Just to find another angle of music or whatever. And then just a couple of months later, Esbjörn passed away. So we were where we were, totally in shock and everything. And I, this is a long story, but I stopped playing. I felt that I must stop playing, because I was totally, I didn't know what to do and where to go. And but then it started around, I think it was around Christmas that year, like half a year after, I started to sit by the piano at home and felt I started to feel an urge to do something, that I felt that I'm not really finished with this. I want to do both for also for myself, maybe to see that I actually maybe can do it, can get some music together. So actually the first thing I started to write, it is actually this which became Ballad for Eid. It was the first, yeah. Oh, wow. First thing that came around, and it felt that it somehow came from Esbjörn, but I don't know where it came from. But it was one of those pieces that you don't have to search too much. It just
happens.
It's there. Sometimes I can explain it like I don't know how you feel it, but sometimes you're working on a song for a month. Sometimes there's like, for me, like it's like a creek with the fishes. And you just dip your hands down and you take up this fish, and there's the song. Or you just dip your hands and the song just,
Those are the best. Those are the best. Yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it's not that often, but sometimes it happens, and that was one of those songs. It's just out there, and you just have to find it. Anyway, and then I started to work more and more, and because I also knew that I had the possibility, because ACT said that we can do it. So I knew I had this
at least that background,
that to do this, and then I started to work more, and I had worked in another. No, this is later. Oh, anyway, I was co-produced an album with a singer called Jeanette Lindström. Fantastic singer and composer, and at that time I didn't know. Of course, I knew some musicians in town, but not that much, because we had been out.
You were
playing.
Away, yeah, sure.
We were always out touring, or I was home with my family because I had small kids. And so we did this recording, and I thought these guys are great. So I asked. It wasn't the whole band, but guitar player Andreas Hourdakis and Thobias Gabrielson was in that band, and I asked him, "Are you interested to try out some stuff?" And they were, and I was happy about that. And then I found through Thobias this great piano and keyboard player, Gustaf Karlöf, who's a fantastic guy also when it comes to sounds.
Yep.
So, and then I just worked quite hard, actually. I really went into this. I just worked and got this together, and that's how it came about. And then I suddenly I had the record. I thought, who wrote this? How did I get it together? I don't really understood it almost. This is long answers, but then it's but then also talking about composing the music and stuff. I've always been very intuitive, very much about feeling. So I'm not, of course, I'm a little bit educated on the university, but I don't have that. I would have loved to have more studies about, you know, harmonics and, you know, composing, but this is how it came out from me, how I heard it. So anyway.
Yeah, but if you're right, let's say, you know, the intuition part, like many tunes, compositions of yours are in odd meters. Let's say, for instance, Jonas, I listened to the other day. I think it's in 11, or you have stuff in 7 or 13.
Yeah.
Are you consciously aware that
No.
that or you just start playing a groove or on piano?
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
it's 11, and then you write it out.
Yeah, I've never thought that something should be in something, you know. So somehow it's this. I don't know why it comes out in odd meters. I just usually, especially in the beginning, it was a lot about patterns, you know, piano patterns, and somehow I just felt it that way. Oh, I like this groove, and then I started realizing, wait, was it? Oh, it's 7. Oh, that's 7 plus 8. Oh shit! Well, what is this? If you start to you know, count, is 19? Can that be? No, you know, it's like why why does it come out like that? But somehow I love it, and it just comes out like that. And also Daniel Karlsson, who is in the band now, he used to say that I play the percussion on the piano. I play the drums on the piano. You know, it's very rhythmical and very, like a groove in a way. So, and of course my piano playing is not that good. So I play the pattern and I usually record it, and then I play the melody to that, and then I go over to the drums and start to think, what does the composer want with this song? So it's my own trio in a way, you know. So that's how it came about. The only song that the groove came first, I think, is Piano Break song. I think I just tried some grooves, but then I maybe forgot about that. But then the song came about. But that groove were there somewhere. This brush groove. Anyway.
How do you, when you don't, like, you know, what does the Magnus composer want in that song? How do you approach it then? Let's say 11, you know, or 19, or how do you approach as a drummer then this odd meter? Like, how do you subdivide it that you make it sound so natural? What's
as Thobias, the bass player, used to say, it's just 4/4 anyway. You can count 4/4. It's okay. No, actually, I don't know. It's I don't really know how I approach it. I just hear the pattern and I find a way around it. It's sometimes I feel that I do the same as when I started playing the drums. These paint tin cans, I still play the melody.
Yeah.
I don't know if it is like that, but sometimes I feel, of course I don't do that, but in the beginning when I played, I couldn't play. So of course I played the rhythm of the melody.
Exactly.
That was the first thing. And sometimes I can feel that I still do that. Or I play with the piano pattern or something.
But that's good. I mean, that's, you know, all the best drummers.
Somehow it just works. Yeah.
Are you comfortable as being, you know, when you first stepped out as a band leader and presented your music to the guys and being, you know, when touring, presenting the tunes, talking with everyone, were you immediately comfortable in that role? And how have you grown in this role? How do you see your progress in this area?
I don't know. I had such an urge to do this first record, so somehow that I think I traveled on that wave the whole way in a way, because it was like I just have to give out this, and also I somehow have always felt comfortable on stage, you know, talking. I have never had problem with that, fortunately. So that role came quite natural.
Natural, okay.
Yeah. So because we did way back, we had a band, me and Esbjörn, called Stock Street B, where we were singing.
Oh, really?
New samplers.
Wow.
And this was not like 90, it was like 1.5 years before the trio started or something. And we had all these samplers and sampled the vocals, and I had an octapad, and you know,
really?
it was very early.
Man.
It was very early, you know, in that era. So, but people didn't really understand what we were doing, because they thought we were playing to backtracks, because we had all the vocals on there, you know. And but in that setting, I did some things from stage. I was even I hope that's not recorded. I was even singing When I Fall in Love, the ballad, the standard ballad, you know, on duo with Esbjörn, on Fasching, you know, in Stockholm.
Oh, in the club.
I can't even think about it, how it sounded, but I did it, you know. So.
Oh man, that's amazing. I see that coming, like in 10 years, like Magnus Öström vocal album. Like,
the Christmas album.
The Christmas album. That's
with the you know, bow tie and everything.
Oh, that's cool.
We'll see. You never know.
Yeah. Never say never.
Have done crazier things.
Oh yeah, definitely. Oh, yeah, interesting. But otherwise, you know, speaking of Fasching and the Scandinavian scene, I just wanted to ask you also about we mentioned him already before, that you were playing with Lars Danielsson now recently, and how does, you know, I love the Libretto albums and Cloudland that you guys did. It's also again a band. It sounds like a band almost.
Yeah, right. No,
and when does your story begin? Actually, did you guys already play in the 90s together, or when did you start cooperating?
No, I knew Lars a little bit before, but not much really. You know, it's also I don't know how it's in Slovenia, but in Sweden it's quite divided. You know, you have Stockholm up here, and then you
here
have
it's the same. Yeah,
it's the same. Gothenburg, and then you have Malmö, Söder. But so we, you know, back in those days, you don't really play with each other. You know, it was two different scenes in a way, as far as I remember it. A lot of Stockholm bands went down to play in Gothenburg, but it was not that many Gothenburg band coming up and playing in Stockholm. Anyway, I knew Lars a little bit. We played with EST in this Jazz Baltica, you know, the festival back in the days, and Lars was often there playing with different things, and I also remember also another story, but one time Rainer Harman, who had that festival, he put together American musicians with European musicians. He had this urge about that. When he had all these great musicians in the festival, he tried to put them together in different groups that played during the festival. Of course, everyone played with their own groups, but then also some project thing.
That was how this Pat Metheny also collab kind of happened?
Yes,
okay.
Yes. Because I don't know if Pat was kind of a residence thing at that year, but I remember anyway, it was like it came about there, and of course it was a fantastic thing to do. We can come back to that actually, but with Lars anyway. Anyway, when it was like in January the year after Esbjörn had passed or something, maybe December, I don't know. I remember so clearly because I was out driving. I had my now ex-wife beside me, Maria. We were driving and the phone rang, and I took the call, and it was Lars asking me if I want to join him for a gig in March or something. And I was, you know, as I said, no, I have to call you back. I don't know. I'll call you back. So I asked for, because I was like a little bit of in a shock, because it was more or less the first thing, you know, to say, because I said no to quite a lot of things, and then he called, and I didn't know what to do, and my Maria said, "You have to say yes. You have to say yes." And then I called it up, and I said yes, and it was it was the first thing that I said yes to, and I'm still so grateful that Lars made that call, because he brought me back, actually out on the road and out playing again.
Yeah.
And since then I've been there, and that was a concert with Leszek Monster.
I love him. Yeah.
And Matthias Eik was on trumpet.
Beautiful.
And then it was I think John was in the band. Yeah, John Pancelli was also in the band. So, and since then I've been there, and suddenly it's like, wow, it's 12 years suddenly. So I don't know what happened, but I'm still there, and so I did something right.
Yeah, definitely. I love that. All those groups, with Tigran and Matthias and all.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah, no, it has been a beautiful journey meeting all these great musicians. Tigran and Matthias and
And John, I love John, man. He's for me one of the most underrated guitarists ever, really.
No, he's such a great guitar player, fantastic instrumentalist, and the sound he has also on acoustic, beautiful. He's great.
Amazing. Well, Magnus, just to end, not to take more of your time, so just we mentioned Pat, and he plays. We mentioned ballads for you also. And,
right. Yes.
How was it like for you to? I mean, of course, it was incredible with Pat, but you remember that moment in Jazz Baltica, and how was it?
That was, I remember, I actually got goosebumps because my 16 years old guy in me also thinks about this at the same time as I do it as a grown-up, so it's very double, So because we listened so much to this his first trio album with Bob Moses and and also the first quartet album. So when we were in the gymnasium, you say that's when we were 16.
Exactly. Me too.
Yeah. So I remember when we had met him once, I think in Montreux. We were introduced when we played there, and and it was fantastic. Just that, you're totally starstruck. But then I remember when we were supposed to rehearse with this thing, and he just came into the room, and he was such a nice person. It just felt so easy, because that's also a thing when you are like 16 when you meet this person, but suddenly you are also colleagues.
Exactly. That's incredible.
It's suddenly you have to try, you find the music together, you create this thing together, and then suddenly you are in a way equal. We're just humans.
I love that.
Then sometimes you just look a little bit like this, and you suddenly you're 16, and then you're back to be like the musician in the band. It's a very strange feeling. And he's such a sweet guy, and so nice, so easy, and also very much about to just do the best for the music. No, it was such a magic night with the orchestra as well. And just remember his solo on, I think it's on Dutch. Is it on Dutch? I think. When he plays his synth guitar thing, you just say, okay.
You're like, are you going with me back in off-ramp?
So it's like, such a fantastic thing. And then we played some double bills through the years. His trio, and he joined us a little bit, and then it came about that we had this memorial thing in Jazz Baltica for Esbjörn one year, and I think it was the year after, I'm not sure. And Pat was there, and I remember asking him about we should play something together, and because the first song we really listened really much to was the Bright Side's Life. So we thought, what about playing that? Yeah, sure.
Oh wow, man.
So me and Dan and him, we played it on trio, this song, and I still get like,
oh man, I have goosebumps.
Has this really happened? I'm not sure. But I think it's recorded even on TV.
Oh, wow, to check it out. Wow.
But anyway, So we play that. We started to play it, and this is very strange. It was like we started to play it, and then it was a thunderstorm coming. We heard the thunder coming closer and closer. We played, and then then the power just went. So it was just the drums here, you know.
Oh wow, man!
And it just felt like, oh, it's Esbjörn. He wants to be there also. It was a little bit envious or something. I don't know what it was, but and then we went into drum solo, and then maybe the power came back so we could end the song. But then the TV people said, no, we had to do it again because, you know, the cameras just went out. So we played it twice. just to make sure. But it's still one of the biggest memories for me in life to have played it with him, because it was such a big thing when I was back in 16, 17. It's such a beautiful song as well. So
yeah, amazing.
And then I, for my own record with this song, I just felt this should be like that. It would be fantastic if he won. So I just had to ask him, and he said yes. And I didn't expect that really, because he rarely guessed on things.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So, but he felt that he wanted to contribute. I think also like a memory with Esbjörn and everything. And
that's incredible.
He said, I can continue about this, but I remember because in original it's quite a simple song, you know, how we play it in my band.
Yeah.
It's not that arrangement that is on the record. So I remember we talked on the phone, and he said, oh yeah, I have some ideas. I'll show you in the studio. Okay, yeah, look interesting. And then I came there, and we met, and this, you know.
So you went to the States, or?
Yeah, we flew to New York.
Oh, okay.
So me and Dan and Åke Linton, the sound engineer, usually travel with EST. We went over to New York and to this then named Avatar studio that used to be the power station where Pat had recorded most of his work.
Everything. Yeah.
We kept, because he I think he suggested this studio, and we went to this room, and he just came in. Oh, great to be back. I think I spent 10 years here or something in this room. It was like, you know, I was amazed. And then he just, I have this arrangement, and then he just made this, you know, big arrangement that he had really worked on it. He really put so much effort into it. It was so beautiful. I almost started to cry now, because he really wanted to do something good with it. So beautiful. You know, he could just have played it how it was, but he really wanted to do something. Just so beautiful. No, I love him. He's an amazing musician and a person. Like, you know, it's fantastic.
Yeah, incredible. Yeah, thanks for sharing that, Magnus.
Yeah.
Yeah. Otherwise, I just wanted to ask you: Are you preparing something new also as under your own group, or writing some new music now lately, or?
I have written some songs during the last years, but I don't have that much. That's also after my third album. I didn't really know where to go with it. It was like working quite well. Critics liked it. Came quite a lot of people to the concerts, but somehow I couldn't really get, as a group leader, I couldn't really get it going financially. Actually, it was like, you know, everything was so much cost to with travels and everything, and it was a band, but still I was the leader. It was more like, you know, this is more about how to be a band leader and musician on the road, and try to have your own project. You know, you pay the musicians first, and then if something left, of course, usually it wasn't. So that was one thing. But then also musical, I didn't really know where to go with it. So I kind of took a break from it a little bit, and then life came around. A lot of things happened, and then suddenly it has been some years, and then Rymden came around.
Rymden came, yeah.
Exactly. Which kind of took off. Yeah, what can you say? It was really took off, and which is fantastic. So at least more or less all songs on those albums I was supposed to have in my own band in a way.
Yeah, you wrote.
Some of them I wrote for Rymden directly, but also. So, but we'll see. I really want to do it, and we'll see when it will happen. I working a little bit with it, and hopefully it will be in such not too distant future. I would say, because I like it. I like it, but we'll, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, super, cool.
Yeah,
cool, Magnus. Thanks for sharing some of these thoughts. So beautiful.
Thank you.
To hear you talk, it's nice. I always like this. Beside being a musician and writing music, I'm such a huge music fan, and it's always nice to get next to the albums I have some stories, and for me it's I'm a small child and like I don't know.
That's great. That's great. It's a beautiful thing you're doing with all. I mean, I'm honored because
I'm happy. So
super nice.
So thank you for doing it and taking the time. So appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, and hopefully we'll meet in Slovenia.
Dr. Jazz. Dr. Jazz.